Welcome, everyone. We continue on our sequence through the different meridians. So today's class is about the lungs. The lungs being the organ that takes energy, oxygen from the air, the space around us, comes into it and gets mixed with our blood so that we have energy in our body. The lungs are also related with our skin. And I really love the sense of how we breathe in, not just through our nose and mouth, but our pores breathe with us, this full body breath. So we'll be doing lots of back bending, opening up for the lungs. For those of you interested, the lung meridian runs from the lungs out along the top of the arm, the inside of the top to the thumb, and then it's linked with the large intestine, which is the pointing finger back through and down into the large intestine. So also this idea of how we digest things as well, how we take things in and let them out. And that's what we'll work with. So as always, starting with a meditation, sitting or lying if that's more comfortable for you. Closing your eyes. Landing here now. What is it like to be here now? Starting right there with the breath. Feeling how your breath rises, how it flows into the body, and how it recedes, flows out of the body. We can allow ourselves to work with the breath and change its rhythm. So slowing your breath down, inhaling for 4 to 6 seconds long. Exhaling for the same amount of time, 4 to 6 seconds. So counting that for yourself. Inhaling. Exhaling. Keep going, focusing on your rhythm. So a slow down breath, not our natural breathing, but you don't want to strain, still in a comfortable range. And what's it like to lengthen the breath? As you're breathing in, imagining how you're not only breathing in through the nose, but all the pores in your body are breathing in with you. And when you're breathing out, you're letting go of everything you no longer need. This wonderful exchange with life around us. We breathe out for the plants, and we breathe in the goodness from the plants. Oxygen, carbon dioxide exchange, giving and taking. How does it feel to have these longer breaths? Another minute or so. Can you feel your diaphragm moving? On the inhale, the diaphragm lowering and the belly coming forward. On the exhale, the belly receding, diaphragm moving up. And letting your breath become natural again. not making the breath happen. The body knows how to breathe. And feeling the difference of extending the breath and resting in natural breath. So what is your natural length of breathing right now? And asking yourself the golden question, how are you? Making room for whatever is here. How does your body feel? Celebrating what feels good, caring for what is more achy or vulnerable. How is your heart? Here as well, celebrating and caring for the emotions that arise. Allowing yourself to be a living, breathing, feeling being. And asking your mind, how is your mind? What thoughts are there? What memories, what plans? Any pauses between the thoughts? Any sense of spaciousness there or not? And landing back in the breath. And those of you lying down can ease your way up to sitting. And we'll flow with the breath. So again, here you can lengthen the breath if you like. Inhale, lengthening the spine, opening up the chest, opening up the throat. Exhale, rounding forward, dropping the chin. Inhale, lengthening the front of the body, opening it up. Exhale, rounding. So if you're familiar with Ujjayi Pranayama, by all means, invite that in for this opening part of the class. In and out through the nose, that small ocean whisper from the back, created through the throat. If you're not familiar with Ujjayi, that's fine. It's breathing smoothly, consciously, 4 to 6 seconds for each inhale and each exhale. And you can keep this as it is, or you can bring the arms out and reaching the arms up, opening up. So really thinking about how the meridians of the lungs run through the front of the chest. And then exhale, rounding, softening. Inhale, reaching out, opening up the front of the body, out through the fingers. Exhale, rounding. Keep flowing at your pace, in your style. The upper body meridians all end in a different finger. So when you inhale, you can really feel that you're beaming through the fingers. Go and also try different angles with the arms to offer different stretching for the front and the back. Whenever you come into any tightness, caring for that tightness, breathing into it. And there, where it feels good, enjoying that. 2 more. Landing back neutral. Curious to, yeah, what did that bring into the body? And on your next exhale, drop your head forward, breathing into the back of the neck. And then circling your head around. Small or big circles, fast or slow. An invitation to melt any tension in the neck and shoulders. If you want to pause anywhere along the way, you can pause. Whatever crunching or grinding is happening, let it happen. And feel how your breath is flowing. And circling the other way. Jaw soft, tongue relaxed. Invitation for any tension, any stagnation to melt and flow. One more circle. And then letting the head float up again. And circling the shoulders. Oh, what is that like? What's living in your shoulders right now? And can you self-massage it through this shoulder rotation? So with all of these joint rotations, you choose if it's smaller circles or if it's bigger, slow or fast. Yeah, I see some of you bringing the arms into it. So if it feels better to get the arms in, go ahead. If you want to do one and then the other, or if you prefer both. The other direction. Oh, what is this like? How's your breathing flowing? Can you relax your face anymore? And then some freestyle for the neck and shoulders. Oh, rounding, arching, bending. Slow movements or quick movements. Maybe you bring the arms up and yawn. Great for the lungs to yawn. Once I start, I seem to not be able to stop, but I'm hoping that my yawns are catching and that you yawn as well. Those neuron neurons interacting with one another. You can lean side to side, feeling in through the side of the torso. What's that like? Either that both hands up or one hand up and the other one down for support. What's more effective for you? One arm down, one arm up, or both arms up? Some like to hold the wrist. And then up and over for the other side. Again, either arms, both arms up or one down. Breath flowing. And then coming up again, and bring the energy in and down. And that can, coughs may happen as we're stretching in the lungs. Stuff needs to come out. So if a cough or a sneeze happens, give it space. See, how do you feel now? I have a second one coming. Pardon me. And then we come to the wrists. So circling the shalatas, those of you who know the shalatas, the wrist rotations, our upper body meridians flow through the wrists, and the wrists are a place of a lot of stagnation. So dance with the wrists, move the fingers. You can get the elbows involved, or maybe the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders. Some Bollywood or octopus movements. And as you're doing this, this inner invitation that energy is flowing. Everything is going from the center out and coming back in. And I have to say, it looks great with all these waving arms here in my screen. It's like, hello, everyone. And then release. How do you feel? We've been sitting for a while, so we'll now stretch out onto our hands and knees. If you want a pillow for your knees, if that's more comfortable, then please do that. You can stretch out one leg, thanking it for sitting so long. Stretch out the other leg. Stretching out an arm. Maybe an arm and the opposite leg. Breathing into this. What's this like? And then switching to the other side. Stretching out the other arm and maybe the opposite leg. Feeling your breath rise and fall. And bring the hands under your shoulders, the knees roughly under your hips, and some cat-cow. So inhale, the belly sinks, the head lifts. Exhale, round the back and drop the head. Inhale, arching, head lifting. Exhale, rounding. Keep flowing at your natural pace, seeing if you can delight in this, if you can honor where it's tight. And I know for some people this is a bit much for the wrists, so a few options. You can come onto the fingertips. It's not too much for the fingertips. And what's nice about the fingertips, as I mentioned, the meridians end there, so it's extra stimulation. Or some people like to do it on the fists, then the wrists are completely straight. The last option would be to do it down on your forearms. A few more, whatever arm position is suitable for you. Develop the movement in the spine and making sure it's not uncomfortable for the shoulders or the wrists. One more. And then melting back in child, if that's okay for your knees. And if it's not okay for your knees, you can come and rest in Shavasana on your belly. So either resting on your belly or coming into child. I'm going to rest here for 2 minutes, just getting my timer. Breathing into the back of the body. Here in child, you can make fists to rest your head on, or it can rest on the ground. Arms can be behind you or in front. And those of you who've chosen to lie on your belly, letting the legs flop, letting the arms relax. Inviting a bit of ease into this shape. And if you find you're struggling in child, then only a few more breaths and come to lie on your belly. We definitely don't want any pain in the knees or ankles. Seeing what can you soften here? What can melt? And then with your next inhale, those in child, bring your hands in front and push up and come to lie on your belly. So we all meet lying on the belly. Finding the right distance for your legs in neutral position, whether they're wide or narrow. Feeling what this moment is like. And then we'll come into a 4-minute back bend. So either sleeping sphinx, arm on top of arm, forehead resting, if that gives you enough compression in the lower back. Or up onto your elbows. So again, we want to open up the chest and stimulating the lungs. Or maybe your body appreciates coming even higher up into seal. Finding the appropriate edge for yourself, where you're reaching the target, a compression in the lower back, and if the flexibility is there, an opening through the chest. And then on top of it, you can put some attention into the fingertips, so the end and beginning of the meridians, the upper body meridians. So if you're lying on your elbows, you can bring the hands together like a pyramid. I don't know if you can see that. Like pressing the fingers together. Or some people like to bring the hands down, pressing the fingers into the mat. And those of you that are up in seal, you can just cup the hands a bit more, really push into the fingers. You can even push one finger after the other, like you're playing the piano. So helping through this pressure to stimulate the meridian points in the fingers. And then also letting the breath help move through the meridians. So feeling your inhale. Feeling your exhale, softening in, melting into your exhale. Expanding, opening for the inhale. And exhale, softening and melting into it. Checking how this is for the shoulders and arms. If you want to push your elbows or hands away and engage the arms to protect the shoulders more. How it is for your neck. If you want to lift it or hang it. So we don't want to create any stress or tension in the neck and shoulders. We do want to create the compression in the lower back and a stretching to the front of the body. And the emotions linked with the lung and large intestine meridians is courage and sorrow. Not that one is good or one is bad. They both need to flow through us. But we don't want to get stagnant or repressed either. So feeling that courage and sorrow can flow through you. Stimulate, invigorate you. Sorrow is a deep connection with others, with life, an honoring of things coming and going, time passing. And courage is that willingness to be present in life, through the ups and downs, through the passing from one to the next. It's courage to have feelings, to mourn what needs mourning and let it go. So noticing what that triggers in you and breathing through that. One more breath here, noticing what it's like. And then with control, especially those in the seal, with the strength of your arms, slowly easing out and resting on your belly, feeling the rebound. Making room for what is here. There's often a lot of achiness triggered in these back bends, so letting that be part of the process, part of the healing. If we don't ask more of our bodies, they will shrink up around our use. So we come into these shapes and see like, oh, how far we can go. And then because we've asked more of it, it's achy, it's vulnerable. So honoring all of that. We'll come into another forward bend, and you can choose if you prefer to push back and come into child, or if you want to roll over onto your back and hug your legs in for child on her or his back. And for this one, I find it's helpful to take a folded cushion or thicker cushion and bring it under the hips. And then I don't even necessarily have to hold my legs. The cushion helps hold them. So choosing child on the back or child. 2 minutes here. Melting into the ground, whatever can melt. Letting your focus rest with the exhales. sense of release, letting go. One more breath here. Either coming out to lie on your belly, if you're a child, or if you're on the back, bringing the legs down slowly, moving the cushion if you had one, and briefly resting on your back. How is your breath flowing now? Those of us on our back, we're going to turn over onto the belly again. We'll come into dragon. So up onto your hands and knees. And you may want to have, I know I like to have a cushion for the one knee. And you bring one leg forward. So dragon is targeting the front of the thighs, which is the stomach and spleen meridian that has a direct link to the lungs. So you want to feel a stretch front of the thigh into the hip flexors, and maybe there's a melting and opening of the chest as well. Only 2 minutes. The dragons can create some heat in the body, so let's see what that's like. Some people find it more effective to have their hands down on the ground, others with their hands on the thigh, others the hands back on the hips. And then if this is all easy peasy for you, you can always bring your arms up to fully extend into it. So finding the appropriate edge for you. No pain in the knee. Stretching along the front of the thigh and the hip flexor, maybe also the chest. The head can stay forward or it can lean up or back. And here we're going to bring in some kumbhaka. So as long as you're not pregnant, we'll hold the breath. Inhale, energy like it's your lungs are a magnet. Into the magnet. Hold the breath for 1 to 4 seconds. Then exhale, imagine you bring the energy down to the belly and lower back. Inhale, energy flowing into the lungs and heart like they're magnetized. Holding it there, more energy builds in the lungs. And then exhale, you're bringing this energy down to your belly. I'm just talking with my hands so you can have your arms still. Either on the thigh or the ground or up. And again, I'll talk with my hands. So inhaling, the energy comes into the lungs. Hold it there. And then exhale, invite it down to the belly and the lower back. Last few at your own pace. releasing the breath work, releasing the posture, easing your life back. You can rest either in child or come into some cat-cows. Some people enjoy to briefly come back into a downward dog after there to stretch out the legs. So choosing downward dog, cat, cow, or child. Around 3 more breaths. And coming with the other leg forward. Finding the appropriate edge here. We're not symmetrical, so it doesn't have to look the same. Same target area, so the front of the thigh and the hip flexor. Do you have the arms down? Do you have them up on your thigh, your hips? How far back are the hips, or how far forward are they? In 2 minutes. The first part is settling into the shape, finding the appropriate edge for you, stimulating the front of the body, opening up the lungs. And then we're going to return with this kumbhakas, but this time adding in words. So inhale, energy comes in, and as you hold it, think of clear, bright, resilient. And exhale, bring the energy down to the belly and lower back. Inhale, fresh energy. Holding it in the lungs and heart, clear, bright, resilient. And exhale, bring that energy down. Keep going at your pace. By all means, translating into your native tongue. And if not, all 3 words work for you, whatever resonates. Clear, bright, resilient, be strong, healthy. What energy do you want to bring into your lungs? Checking that your jaw is soft, tongue relaxed. One more breath here. And slowly, don't rush out, but gently easing out. And again, choosing, you can lie on your belly, you can come into some cat-cow, into child, or maybe you want to stretch out in downward dog. You choose. Noticing how you feel, what you're feeling. And then finding a way to land on your back. We'll come into lion twists. Slightly different today. So also knowing that in twist we cool down. So if you want to have a blanket, an extra sweater on, do. For this twist, we're going to keep one leg straight. So you can keep your left leg straight. Bend the right leg And then bring the right leg over so it becomes more of a back bend twist. Should show you from the other side. And then you can either stay like this, you can prop pillows underneath your right leg, or you can bend the left leg and hold it for cattail or corkscrew. So choosing either with a straight leg or holding. And we'll hold this for 4 minutes. Padding anywhere that needs padding. We're going to twist as a relationship with the hips and the shoulders, so as long as they're in slightly different angles, it's a twist. This twist is more of a back bend. It feels different than when we bend both knees and bring it towards the torso. Noticing that for you, this back bend twist. Letting your attention land in the chest, in the lungs. Really honoring and celebrating your lungs through this attention. This willingness to soften into what's here. This dedication to keep coming back to your breath, feeling it. And what are you aware of right now? Can you breathe into that? With gentleness, kindness, compassion. And then gently releasing your leg, rolling back onto your back. Feeling what this is like. I really appreciate that over and over about asymmetrical postures. That difference from one side to the other. Added easiness to feel, oh yeah, I've just done something, it's different. And then noticing how the other side wants it too. So let's give it that. Rolling over to the other side. Again, you may want to pad under your knee or not. The one leg can stay straight out, or you can bend it and fold onto it, the cattail corkscrew. Feel free to pad behind your shoulders. Feel free to bring your head right, left, or up. Take all the time you need to find the appropriate twist. So again, it's more of a back bend twist here. So you may be feeling it more in the lower back. You may be feeling it along the front of the chest, anywhere on the side of the torso. And letting yourself soften into gravity. Letting yourself soften into your exhales. You're making room for what's there. Maybe you're slowing down. Maybe as your body becomes still, the mind gets really busy. Whatever's happening, let it happen. Give it space. Breathe into it. And one more breath here, noticing what it's like. And then mindfully, carefully, slowly moving out. How are you feeling now? Where is there ease? Where is there achiness? Where is it more neutral? And hugging your knees in towards you. You can be still, or maybe you want to massage the lower back, circling the knees around. Circling in both directions, if you're circling. Either pausing here or reaching for your feet for happy baby, or coming up into the shoulder stand or seagrass, which is also great for the lungs. So making sure if you're choosing the seagrass that there's no pressure on the neck, that you feel confident doing that, especially since I'm not in the room with you. Otherwise, in happy baby, or hugging your knees in. Being with your breath here. If you want to take your shoulder stand further into snail, you can. There's no need. And very slowly coming back to lying on your back, feeling the rebound. We'll come into Shavasana now, and you have the choice to do the traditional Shavasana, just like this, or if you enjoy, you can do a melted heart for your Shavasana. So that's where you would take a folded blanket or pillow, placing it under the ribs for that extra long stretch. But we've already stretched lots in this direction, so this may be too much for you. And traditional Shavasana is perfect. So finding the appropriate shape for you. Melting into presence. Melting into awareness. Noticing this, whatever this is, and seeing if you can notice it with kindness, with inclusion. And bend your knees and roll over to side, resting here for a few breaths. Noticing this and whatever this is. And then easing your way up.
That's my camera lens.
Bring your hands together. Taking this time to acknowledge this practice we've done together. A moment to acknowledge your lungs, your large intestine, your health. And bowing to you, honoring the amazing being that you are in all of your idiosyncrasies. And bowing to life with gratitude and appreciation. Namaste.